Hey guys, it's me, William Saibo, and welcome to another reaction video. And this time, we're doing something a little bit different. We've been reacting to YTPs and Try Not to Laughs and TV errors. This is gonna be my first music reaction on this channel. Also, another thing, the main reason I'm pretty much doing this is because, if you can see my mouse, I literally just watched the 8-bit drummer drum to this song, and so I figured I gotta watch this. This is Albuquerque from Weird Al Yankovic. Let's begin.
Way back when I was just a little bitty boy, living in a box under the stairs in the corner of the basement of the house half a block down the street from Jerry's bait shop. You know the place. Well, anyway, back then life was going swell and everything was just crazy.
I actually used to watch this a lot because it was so good, and I can't believe I'm reacting
my mother
to
would
it
make
right
me
now.
a big old bowl of sauerkraut for breakfast. Big bowl of sauerkraut! Every single morning! It was driving me crazy. I said to my mom, I said, "Hey, Mom, what's up with all the sauerkraut?" And my dear sweet mother, she just looked at me like a cow looks at an oncoming train. And she leaned right down next to me. And she said, "It's good for you!" And then she tied me to the wall and stuck a funnel in my mouth and force-fed me nothing but sauerkraut until I was 26 and a half years old. That's when I swore
I love this. I remember this, man.
I'll get out of that basement and travel to a magical, faraway place where the sun is always shining and the air smells like warm root beer and the towels
That's where
are
that's
so
from?
fluffy, where the Shriners and the lepers play their ukulele.
Hang on.
That basement and travel to a magical, faraway place where the sun is.
When I reacted to my first YTP, this few parts on it were in it. The sun is
Always shining
and the water.
air smells like warm root beer and the
Yeah, you get where I'm going. Anyway, moving on.
towels are oh so fluffy, where the Shriners and the lepers play their ukuleles all day long, and anyone on the street will gladly shave your back for a nickel. Waka waka doo doo, yeah. Well, let me tell you, people, it wasn't long at all before my dream came true, because the very next day, a local radio station had this contest to see who could correctly guess the number of molecules in Leonard Nimoy's butt. I was off by 3, but I still won the grand prize. That's right, a first-class one-way
Here we go.
ticket to Albuquerque. Albuquerque. Oh, yeah. You know, I've never been on a real airplane before, and I gotta tell you, it was really great. Except that I had to sit between 2 large Albanian women with excruciatingly severe body odor, and the little kid in back of me kept throwing up the whole time. The flight attendants ran out of Dr. Pepper and salted peanuts.
I love Dr. Pepper.
The in-flight movie was Biodome with Pauly Shore.
Oh, yeah,
the
one of
airplane
the
engines
ancients
burned
burned
out.
out.
We went into a tailspin and crashed into a hillside. The plane exploded in a giant fireball, and everybody died.
Except for me.
You know why? Cause I have my tray table up, and my seat back in the full upright position. Have my tray table up, and my seat back in the full upright position. Have my tray table up, and my seat back in the full upright position. So I crawled from the twisted, burning wreckage.
It's in 1080? How could this possibly be 1080? We're going with that.
I crawled on my hands and knees for 3 full days. Dragging
Sorry, I keep
along a
pausing
big
it.
leather suitcase and my Garmin bag and my tenor saxophone and my 12-pound bowling ball and my lucky autographed glow-in-the-dark snorkel. But finally I arrived at the world-famous Albuquerque Holiday Inn, where the towels are oh so fluffy. And you can eat your soup right out of the ashtray if you want. It's okay then. I stayed in my room and I turned on the AC and I turned on the Spectrovision and I'm just about to eat that
cold
little
and flu
chocolate
season,
mint
so
on
I
my
might
pillow
be
that I love so very, very much when
getting a
suddenly
cold,
there's
I'm
a
not
knock
sure.
on the door. Well, now who could that be? I say, who is it? No answer.
Who is it?
There's no answer.
Who is it?
They're not saying anything. So finally I go over and I open the door, and just as I suspected, it's some big fat hermaphrodite with a flock of seagulls haircut and only one nostril. Oh man, I hate it when I'm right. So anyway, he burst into my room and he grabs my lucky snorkel and I'm like, "Hey, you can't have that! That snorkel's been just like a snorkel to me!" And he's like, "Tough."
Damn.
And I'm like, "Give it."
Damn.
And he's like, "Make me."
Damn.
And I'm like, "Okay."
Damn.
So I grabbed his leg and he grabbed my my esophagus and I bit off his ear and he chewed off my eyebrows and I took out his appendix and he gave me a colonic irrigation. Yes, indeed, you better believe it.
That was just good.
The phone got knocked off the hook. 20 seconds later, I heard a familiar voice. And you know what it said?
I kind of like this part here.
I'll tell you what it said. It said, if you'd like to make a call, please hang up and try again. If you need help, hang up and then dial your operator. If you'd like to make a call, please hang up and try again. If you need help, hang up and then dial your operator. In Albuquerque. Albuquerque. Well, to cut a long story short, he got away with my snorkel. But I made a solemn vow right then and there that I would not rest. I would not sleep for an instant until the one-nostril man was brought to justice. But first I decided to buy some donuts. So I got in my car and I drove over to the donut shop and I walked on up to the guy behind the counter and he says, yeah, what do you want? I said, you got any glazed donuts? He said, no, we're out of glazed donuts. I said, well, you got any jelly donuts? He said, no, we're out of jelly donuts. I said, you got any Bavarian cream-filled donuts? He said, no, we're out of Bavarian cream-filled donuts. I said, you got any cinnamon rolls? He said, no, we're out of cinnamon rolls. I said, you got any apple fritters? He said, no, we're out of apple fritters. I said, you got any bear claws? He said,
Wait a minute. I'll go check. No, we're out of bear claws.
I said, well, in that case, what do you have? He says, all I got right now is this box of 12 starving, crazed weasels. I said, okay, I'll take that. So he hands me the box and I open up the lid and the weasels jump out and they immediately latch onto my face and start biting me all over. Oh man, they were just going nuts. They were tearing me apart. You know, I think it was just about that time that a little ditty started going through my head. I believe it went a little something like this. Oh, get off me, get off me. Oh, get off, get off.
Yeah.
I ran out into the street with these flesh-eating weasels all over my face, waving my arms all around and just running like a constipated wiener dog. And as luck would have it, that's exactly when I ran into the girl of my dreams.
Oh?
Her name was Zelda. She was a calligraphy enthusiast with a slight overbite and hair the color of strained peaches. I'll never forget the very first thing she said to me. She said, hey, you got weasels on your face. That's when I knew it was true love. We were inseparable after that. Oh, we ate together, we bathed together, we even shared the same piece of mint-flavored dental floss.
That's nasty.
Was our burrito. So we got married and we bought us a house and had 2 beautiful children, Nathaniel and Superfly.
Superfly.
Oh yeah.
Alright, that was good. That was pretty good. This whole song is pretty good.
She said, Sweetie Pumpkin, do you want to join the Columbia Record Club? I said, whoa! Hold on now, baby! I'm just not ready for that kind of a commitment! So we broke up and I never saw her again, but that's just the way things go!
In
Albuquerque! Albuquerque!
I had to do it.
Because about a week later, I finally achieved my lifelong dream. That's right, I got me a part-time job at the Sizzler. I even made Employee of the Month after I put out that grease fire with my face. Oh yeah.
I can't even imagine somebody putting out a grease fire with just their face.
Everybody was pretty jealous of me after that. I was getting a lot of attitude. Okay, like one time, I was out in the parking lot trying to remove my excess earwax with a golf pencil. When
Why'd you remove it with a golf
trying
pencil?
to carry a big old slope up the stairs all by himself. So I say to him, I say, hey, you want me to help you with that? And Marty, he just rolls his eyes and goes, no, I want you to cut off my arms and legs with a chainsaw.
So I did.
And then he's so indignant on me. He's like, hey man, I want you to do fantastic. Well, that's just great.
Oh my
How was I
gosh.
supposed to know that? I I'm not a mind reader for crying out loud. Besides, now he's got a really cute nickname, Torso Boy. So what's he complaining about? Say, that reminds me of another amusing anecdote. This guy comes up to me on the street and he tells me he hasn't had a bite in 3 days. Well, I knew what he meant, but just to be funny, I took a big bite out of his jugular vein. And he's yelling and screaming and bleeding all over, and I'm like, hey, come on, don't you get it? But he just keeps rolling around on the sidewalk, bleeding and screaming, ah! 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 And I'm completely missing the irony of the whole situation. Man, some people just can't take a joke, you know? Anyway,
Oh, bro, just lost track of everything.
I lost my train of thought. Okay, anyway, I know it's kind of a roundabout way of saying it, but I guess the whole point I'm trying to make here is...
I hate sauerkraut!
That's all I'm really trying to say. And by the way, if one day you happen to wake up and find
I had to do it again, I'm sorry.
Quandary, full of loathing and self-doubt and racked with the pain and isolation of your pitiful, meaningless existence, at least you can take a small bit of comfort in knowing that somewhere out there in this crazy old mixed-up universe of ours, there's still a little place called Albuquerque. 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 I said A-L-B-U.
That could be me in the future, honestly. Oh my god, man. That was really good. I've been kind of attached to this song for a little bit now, come to be honest. There's even this one version where every word in the song is a Google image, but I'll react to that another day. And so with that, thank you guys for watching. Comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.